Gang, chomping the good dog. How are you guys all doing? We got a full house over here, packed. That's only part of the action. A bunch back there. Oh, I'm glad that wasn't dog poop. Tuck toy. Anyways, guys, let's talk about magic. Let's talk about the lack of it. Let's talk about the guy with the chainsaw over there. Just always somebody noisy. Anyways, guys, this is something that's super important, and it's always, and I've talked about it before, but I want to reiterate. I think it's super important that we keep this conversation balanced and accurate and as transparent as possible. So when you see pictures of the dogs that we're working with, fighting dogs, human aggressive dogs, resource guarding dogs, whatever it is, I want you guys to remember that when we're showing you guys progress, we're showing you legitimate, realistic, authentic progress. But that doesn't mean that something magical has transpired. It's the furthest thing from magic. It's just lots of slow, incremental processes and steps in the work and the arc of getting the dog into a good space. That said, it's also transpiring in our home location and with our very structured, very on top of the game crew, right? Everybody being super cautious, super careful. We're dog folks, and so we're in dog land, and so we have leverage and how do I put it? We have leverage and the luxury of focus because this is what we're doing. Regular folks, non-dog folks, are doing the dog stuff that they're trying to fix, but they're also juggling all the other stuff in life. Not that we're not juggling life as well, but this is our primary gig. So if you are a teacher or a student or a doctor or a lawyer or whatever you might happen to be, that stuff is going to be a primary focus. And dog training, as much as you want to try and focus on it, is always going to be a little bit down on that ladder. It's just reality. It's just necessity. And for us, because it's what we do all the time, it's a very easy place for us to be in as far as structure, rules, accountability, safety procedures, protocols, all that stuff, right? So I just want to reiterate that when you see stuff here and we're showing you the progress and we're showing you the work, we're showing you the celebrations, we're showing you the challenges, we're trying to show as much as we can. It doesn't mean that a magic wand was waved and that these dogs are better. I saw a lot of posts on the 3 fighting dogs. It was a fantastic picture and it was a fantastic moment of getting them all to be in a space that they haven't been able to be in maybe ever. And so for us, it was really exciting and really fun to share with all you guys. But that said, we're all incredibly concerned and incredibly realistic and practical and pragmatic about the realities that we're facing getting those dogs back into the home. It's one thing to do it with us. It's another thing to do it at home. That doesn't mean board and trains aren't valuable. It doesn't mean that creating leverage here isn't valuable. It's incredibly valuable. But it also needs to be factored in that when they go home, they're dealing with the associations and triggers in their home environment and the way it feels in their home. Not forget about the humans being in there, just the home environment, right? And then you add the humans on top of it, and you've got all of the associations, perceptions, and feelings around them. And then you've got all the behaviors that the humans might be doing, all the things they might be missing, all the moments they might not correct or address, something like that. So it becomes a pretty heady stew of possibilities and variables. And so that's why when people are like, oh my God, it's so, great. And I know people are just being really supportive and kind and celebrating what's going on. I have to remind everybody that it doesn't mean that we're out of the woods. Because those dogs can lay on place together doesn't mean they're safe, doesn't mean they're cool, doesn't mean they're gonna go home and walk off into the sunset together. And I know a lot of you guys aren't thinking that, but I feel a super responsibility to be really crystal clear about this, because all of us, because we work with these guys all the time, not just these guys, but dogs like this, we're super aware of how challenging fighting dogs, especially multiple fighting dogs, especially dogs that have been doing it for a long time, and especially dogs that have been doing it with serious intent and serious damage, and they have a physical ability because of their size to do incredible amounts of damage, that the worry, concern, the fear factor is exceptionally high. Won't lie to you guys. We feel very confident, very solid, very good about the work we do. But that said, it's not miracle stuff. We're not miracle workers, and there's no magic. We're just doing the best we can to try and give owners the best fighting shot at the goals that they have. And in the process, trying to keep the dogs safe, keep the owner safe, keep everybody safe. It's a whole thing, right? So am I excited and optimistic about where we're at? 100%. Am I feeling good? Am I feeling like who knows what the future can hold and we might be able to get to a really great space? I'm always in that space. But I also have to balance that out with a certain level of practicality and a pragmatic approach, because otherwise you get people hurt, you get dogs hurt, you get, you know what I mean? You create a dangerous situation if optimism is your only reflection point. It has to be balanced out, has to be tempered with reality, practicality. And so that's really what this video is about, is no matter who it is that's doing the work, the trainer, and how gifted they are, how good they are, what their results are, what their history is as far as like creating results, we're all just out here doing the very best we can. And it's such a teamwork process, and there's so many variables involved that we can't just say the dogs are fixed because they're with us. And I know you guys know that, but it needs to be reiterated. There's so much involved with that. There's so many variables involved with dogs leaving here and going elsewhere that it's just the reality. The reality is that we don't know until we know. We don't know until the dogs go home. We don't know until the owner gets around them. How do the dogs behave? Do their arousal levels go through the roof? Do their protective, possessive stuff go through the roof? All of that stuff needs to be considered. Is the owner nervous and freaked out? Is the owner able to see the small signs? You know, all of these things are in play. So, lest anyone think there's magic, lest anyone think that there's something, you know, miraculous going on. There's not. It's just a experience. It's just what we've seen, what's worked. It's just doing our best work, and then it's doing our very best to pass that information on to others, the owners, and crossing our fingers that everybody does their best work and things go well. These ladies like crashing my party. So I just wanted to share that. I want to keep everybody in that space of the no magic space, the space of reality, the space of we're doing our best, the space of we're crossing our fingers, the space of so many people are responsible or so many dynamics are in play that just you have to keep your head wrapped around that. They're dogs, and what they experience in their environment and the people around them are going to have a huge impact on the choices that they make. So, hey.
A bunch of people in this garage waiting for you.
Okay. Apparently I have to go. So anyways, hopefully that makes a lot of sense. Hopefully that's helpful. Hopefully it keeps everybody in a practical kind of space. All right, guys, gotta go. I'm being yelled at because action awaits. See ya.